All right. Welcome, 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 everybody. The last session of the day and the week. For some, even the second week going. So congrats. You're almost at the end. At least I see some bright lights, so I don't know about you guys. So this topic today is monitoring real-life Azure applications. And it's also about when to use which Azure native monitoring service and why. My name is Carl Otz. You can follow me on Twitter with the handle I guess, Finn Cooper. I work at a Azure-only company called Azure. I'm based in Finland, Europe. And I work with Azure, obviously, and security. And of course, monitoring is part of both of those. I've been working with Microsoft Azure since 2011. And previous to that, I've been in software development for over a decade as well. And also all the way from gigging out from the building new research, building new software services for a while. And on the Azure side, I've been working with different customers in different kinds of projects, all the way from the smallest startups who want to go global or have the giggiest needs, all the way up to the Fortune 500 enterprises. And today I'm going to talk about one of those as an example as well. And I also organize a bunch of user groups, meetups, different types of community events and conferences, and I also ramble on also on a podcast format at cloudgossip.net as well. So today we are going to talk about all of these, so be prepared. No. So this is typically what customers and anybody essentially working with Azure see when they start working with Azure and try to find what is the native or what is the recommended monitoring tool or what is the one Azure Monitor solution to rule them all. And I've intentionally put a couple of them here that are not used as terms anymore as the latest brands. And also this week we also had some new announcements that a lot of these services are going to get a little bit rebranded together and there's more ties with Azure Monitor and those different types of tooling here as well. But it doesn't help the fact that this is a lot of different services, right? So when we talk about monitoring and specifically talk about monitoring cloud solutions and applications running in the cloud, the scene is a little bit different, or actually a lot different from what it used to when we had our server, maybe even the back end and the front end running on that same server, and we could point to it and see if it's, if there's water or if there's smoke coming out of it, it's probably not fine. And with Azure, it's a little bit different. Some hurricanes might hit some Azure data centers or regions, some might not. Sometimes they might impact your Azure regions, even though you might not be in there either. So let's take a little bit different look at this monitoring set of tools. And one approach is to split this into these modes of platform in terms of Azure platform. So this can be your Azure subscription. This is something that, of course, underneath the actual hardware level and the actual data center level, that's Microsoft. But what we see the platform level in there. So we get the information that how is my Azure Active Directory tenant doing, how is my Azure subscription doing, and all those resources in there. And in this scope, we can talk about Azure monitoring native services such as Azure Activity Logs. They are, let's say, the audit logs to rule them all from Azure. Then we can talk about Azure Monitor and also Azure Health. I'm going to go a little bit deeper for all three of these in a little bit later as well. So that's something that we can't affect. We can ask Microsoft, will they tell us something? Is it something that how is my Azure doing, but it's something that I can't really configure differently. The infrastructure, and I've actually split this in two parts. There's the host side, so let's say the traditional infrastructure, and then the Azure Perspectives infrastructure. And what I mean by infra here, in this context, is any type of Azure resource that is sitting in my Azure platform. So this can be something that's not typically discussed as infrastructure. It can be a serverless application, it can be an API management instance, it can be a Azure App Service hosted, managed platform as a service type of solution, or it can be actual infrastructure, it can be a VM. But in this context, I'm talking about an Azure resource virtual machine. So in there we have services like the Azure Monitor, the Secure DevOps Kit for Azure, or AZSK, and services such as the Azure Network Watcher. But when we actually have virtual machines as our infrastructure in there, we actually get to play around with the host. And of course, we are responsible of securing that on the infrastructure as a service level. But we can also go ahead and install some agents to actually pull in some monitoring data from there. And from Azure native perspective, we have the Microsoft Monitoring Agent, or formerly known as OMS agent, that gets installed either automatically by a security center, or we can go ahead and install that manually by ourselves as well. And on top of that monitoring agent, we can also install a couple of different agents, and we can configure the location where does this agent talk to. And for example, we can use the service map dependency agent and install that as well along with the host, so that we can actually see how are these hosts or how are these VMs working together and how is the application composed of. Or we can build up log analytics solution packs, such as packs related to update management or security, or we can look at all of these sources, all of these data sources, all of these monitored VMs in a perspective of Azure Security Center. Azure Security Center is not a data source of its own. It's not something that I don't go ahead and create an Azure Security Center. It's just a view on top of all of these different services. And then we have the application layer. And in there, of course, the Microsoft first-party solution there is the Application Insight for application performance monitoring needs. And then, of course, we can add some application layer web application firewalls in there. We can add some third-party vulnerability scanners if you'd like as well. So let's take a little bit deeper look at a couple of these. And the most important one is the Azure Resource Manager activity log, or audit log, or just ARM activity log. And the idea of this is that it monitors the platform level. Remember, the first, just after the hardware, we have the Azure platform, our subscription, our tenants, everything. It monitors this platform level activity. What operations were taken on which subscriptions, on which resources. And specifically, the information that we get there is the actual Azure Resource Provider HTTP operation. And I'm going to show you what it means in a little bit later. But essentially, all Azure services are exposed as APIs, and we call them resource providers. And inside my Azure subscription, I can register different resource providers. For example, if I want to use virtual machines, I'm going to go and register a resource provider, Microsoft.compute. And after that, I'm able to call in my subscription Microsoft.compute-get-VM or VM-delete, or all of these different types of operations that are under the resource provider Microsoft.compute. So everything that we do in Portal, in PowerShell, in ARM templates, everything we do, in the end, it gets remade or rewritten as a ARM HTTP call, essentially. It's an API call under a resource provider under Azure Resource Manager. And with that, we get the information, who did it, how did they authenticate, IP addresses, all of that. So that's the lowest level activity log that we can get. But as you'll see, actually, the default retention time is only 90 days. So that's something that in real life, you, of course, need to either pull this information out or then, just work with this limitation. And I have some links in the end of my presentation for you to do that. On top of the activity logs, we had the Azure Monitor. And Azure Monitor is becoming a bigger and bigger term. Specifically now, what I'm talking about here is Azure Monitor's metrics API or metrics part. So previously, all different Azure services we used to have different ways or different APIs of exposing their information. There was Azure SQL had its own monitoring tools that you needed to integrate with. Azure Storage had different ones, et cetera, et cetera. Now there's only one API to talk to, and depending on the actual application or depending on the service or resource provider that we are using, we get through the Azure Monitor various levels of information. And what information can it be? For example, total active connections to our SQL as a service database, or for example, how many throttling errors we are getting on our IoT hub namespaces. So essentially, this is an API. This is something that we can use to collect all of this information in one place. All right, and let's get to the scary part of the presentation. So live demos. And I'm here in the Azure portal. Just to make sure, let's refresh everything. So I'm here in my Azure portal. And I have set up here different parts. You see I've actually created a custom dashboard. So I have here some monitoring-related links. I have a custom health map. I'm only interested in these 4 Azure regions, so I only want information on those. I pulled them in here. I have a virtual machine CPU usage chart in here, and also something about API management utilization as well. As you'll see, I'm way over provisioned these, so neither of these are over 1% of capacity for the period of time that we see here, but it's still quite interesting for this scenario. So let's start with the activity logs, because they are on the lower end of the hierarchy. So zoom a little bit more. All right, so don't worry, I don't go reading all of these lines at a time. Essentially, what I've set up here is I have a view to my Azure activity logs. I have a subscription. I've selected only one subscription for this case, the time span, and then some more filters that I could include in here. And how is the Azure activity log displayed for me? There's different parts, but I'm going to pull up information on this delete managed cluster space. So this is something that is, of course, interesting. This is, as I said, platform level audit log to say. Somebody, in this case me, went ahead and deleted a Azure Container Service, or actually AKS, Managed Azure Container Service cluster. And that's typically something that we want to know about in our monitoring, right? So this is timestamps, who to blame, etc. But actually, we get even more data. And I mentioned about those resource providers. This is actually the resource provider call that was called in this one. So this is the kind of lowest level of, from the point of view of Azure Resource Manager. So Microsoft.containerservice-managed clusters-delete. This kind of even makes sense. Not all of the resource provider namings are that clear for us. And we see even more details. We see our IP addresses. We see how we logged in. If I will be using Windows integrated authentication, I will see that if I'm here just in a Azure AD only environment. I don't have ADFS set up, anything. So for me, it's just going to say, yeah, it kind of looks like a user. Thanks. All right. So this was the typical activity log environment in there. But we can also get a lot more activity log information. We can set up Azure policies to scan our environment and see how all of these environments are doing. You see I have a bunch of audit type of events in my Azure activity log created by Microsoft Azure policy something something. In some cases, there's even no let's say, caller or event initiated by information. And in this particular case that we had here, it has something to do with Azure Health. Health event resolved, activated, etc. And now this is something that previously we would be able to go and just restart the machine or poke the VM or see if the physical machine is still there. But now we don't have any visibility about that. So specifically, I'm just going to jump from activity logs to another platform level service called Azure Health or Azure Service Health. And you'll see that there has been some interesting health activities reported for my subscription, for my environment. So this is not generic Azure Health dashboard, no. This has to do with my specific subscription, my provisioned environments. So I have a Azure IoT Hub provisioned in either North Europe or West Europe. So that's why I actually get this information. We have a tracking ID, we have a root cause analysis. If the event will be still going on, I will get updates all in this space in here. And also I can even go ahead and download the whole information here as PDF in order, it's always about who to blame. So essentially, with this PDF, we get an information that, yes, Microsoft is saying that this subscription was impacted during this time on this health type of event. And by default, you actually don't get this information. So actually, it is available for you if you know how to browse to Azure Service Health, but you need to actually go ahead and set up these alerts by yourself. So I've actually set up an Azure Service Health alert here, and you'll see that this is actually this is using these Azure Monitor alerts now that they have rebranded this. So this alerting experience based on is similar across different Azure services. So I have the similar or same user experience across Azure Health, Azure Activity Logs, and even the Azure Metrics that I'm going to show later as well. On the activity logs previously, I would have gotten this similar alert creation engine. Essentially, what I first need to define the condition. If there is a service health incident in any of these services, in any of these regions, do something. This is just a name for the alert. When do something, for that I need to specify a Azure Alert Action Group. And just to show you how these or what these are, so essentially I have Azure native emailing and even calls and SMSs, not for all regions, but for most regions, and definitely US is in there. I can get native calls straight here. I don't need to set up any SMTP as a service for getting emails. Or if there's some custom logic that I want to do, I can just create a webhook or a Azure function in here. There's also a direct integration with some common ITSM tooling as well, such as ServiceNow, for example. All right. And then the third piece that I did not talk on my slides before. So we had the log analytics. And Azure Log Analytics is something that is essentially just a big punch of big data. You can throw any types of logs, any type of information in it. It takes it in, and it lets you query it using something called custom query language or log analytics query language. And as you'll see, I actually have here as data sources, I have virtual machines, I can add Azure activity logs, and I can also add information straight from Azure resources using the Azure Monitor metrics API. So log analytics is not something that you create any information, you just pull different kinds of information in, and then you analyze it, you visualize it, and then again you can either push this further to another environment, or you can, for example, create again alerts from this environment as well. And just real quickly, I mentioned there's a query language in here. So if I'll open the logs environment, so this is similar. If you've been using the application insights before, this is now the same query language, the similar experience. And actually underneath, this is using the Azure Data Explorer that was announced just this week. So essentially, I just had a default query in here available about heartbeats. You saw that I had 2 VMs connected here, and essentially here's the heartbeat information from both of them, and something's happening in the last piece of the chart. Again, I can set up an alert. It's exactly the same alert as in the health side. All of the same things. I can go ahead and select even the same action group if I would want to. All right. So we have the Azure Resource Manager activity logs that monitor all Azure platform level operations. If we combine that data with information from our Azure services in Azure Monitor, we get a lot of data, a lot of different data sources, and we can pull all of this in log analytics. And log analytics, as I said, ingests all types of data from VMs, from Azure Activity Log, from Monitor, for all different services. If you have a web application firewall, you can push these logs in there. If you have custom logs, you can push these logs in here. And you get all of this data in, and then you perform analysis or query that using the log analytics query language or custom query language, KQL. All right, but so this seems at least 3 pretty pictures, a little bit of colors. This seems relatively straightforward. But what happens when we move to an enterprise environment? So let's do a reality check. And real quickly, I'm going to talk about ABB, and specifically ABB drives. They're building all types of solutions for all your needs, as you'll see, as long as the needs are about low voltage AC and DC drives, essentially building drives for different HVAC, food, water types of machinery. And with them, we'll be working of getting this enterprise level monitoring across all of their dozens of Azure environments that they have. And they have this similar approach, so obvious. So they have the platform level, they are getting the activity logs, they have the infrastructure level with the Azure Monitor, they have the Azure Security Center even to add some more pre-made queries for that data. And they have the agents installed on all of those VMs and different services in there as well. And they have also Azure Application Insight for the APM needs as well. But this is just one application. We can have several of these in a subscription, and we can have several subscriptions in an Azure account, and we can have several Azure accounts in the whole organization. In ABB's case, they have both in normal Azure or global Azure cloud, and also in Azure China as well, which is a different environment. There's different Azure ADs, there's different level of technological parity as well. So essentially, how do we work with all of these things together? So essentially, we are pooling this information in one place in a common event format using Azure Event Hubs, because that's available for all of these different clouds that they are using. And from there, we are giving the access to the Security Operations Center to that centralized log analytics. It's not direct access to all of those dozens of subscriptions, all of those activity logs, monitors, and all of that. We just give access to the copy and read-only version of those logs, and actually immutable read-only logs as well, as you can't just go ahead and delete stuff from Azure Log Analytics. All right, and yes, in real life, they actually have dozens and dozens and dozens of these environments, so it just blows up this whole picture. All right, so what I added from the previous picture, from this real-life reality check from enterprise level, is something called an integration layer, and it's integration layer in the vaguest terms possible. So essentially, because when you have multiple accounts, when you have multiple users, when you are ramping up your governance, or when you have been using Azure for a while, you end up in a solution that you just can't use, for example, role-based access control, or even privileged identity management to share access to some centralized logs in there. You need to have some integration across these Azure security boundaries. And Event Hub is something that can do that. But of course, definitely you can use any other queuing mechanism as well. And if you're not familiar with Event Hub, they have the greatest graphical user interface available. This is still there. So this is the Service Bus Explorer that you can use. To pull data also from your event hubs, Service Bus event hubs. And let's see if I'm able to. All right, so here I'm pulling in these Azure Activity Log alerts into an event hub. You see this is real because I've actually made a typo. So it says, yes, Azure Security Alert is activated, level is information. The description is Azure failed login attempt, custom alert rule that gets triggered when there are failed login attempts. So not triggered, but triggered. So it's all real, trust me. All right, so getting back to this overall picture here. So we have these different layers. Now we are horizontal. We used to be vertical, but we have these different layers of signals that are coming in: the activity logs, the monitors, the integration layers, the log analytics, all of those. Excuse me. Not all of these are coming into the log analytics. It's up to you to choose different dashboard or different let's say, collation place for all of your different Azure logging. You can use a third-party tool for sure. That's nobody's stopping you for doing that. But for the Azure native parts, the things that you cannot get anywhere from except directly from Azure, you have the activity logs, you have the Azure Monitor, and you need to get that data out somehow. And real quickly, now we covered the Azure activity logs, we covered the monitor, we covered the health. So the platform level is quite okay. You see the monitor is here again on the infrastructure side. It's pretty okay. We have the CPU utilization. Everything is always under 1% because that's what the demo said. If we have some additional Azure infrastructure related needs, for example, that I just briefly mentioned before, the Azure Security DevOps Kit for Azure, AZSK. It's a tool that you can use to scan for vulnerabilities of your Azure infrastructure. It tells you that whether or not your Azure resources are properly configured from the security point of view. That's again, it generates some kind of noise, it generates some kind of data. Where do you put it? Again, log analytics. So the same with here on the monitoring agent side, same with here on the application inside, the web application firewall, the vulnerability scanners that you might have poking your application from the outside. All of this data is noise. All of this data is some sort of information that you need to get in a place and query that, and by default that one place should be common across your whole organization. And of course, natively on the Azure side, that's the log analytics part. And the monitoring team is talking a lot about this common logging, common metrics, common alert approach. They are doing a good work now on the branding, getting this done. You saw that the alerting UX and alerting experience was similar across all of these different Azure native environments. And we'll see this moving forward as well. And we'll see this with the announcement this week, and also moving forward towards the build timeframe as well. All right. So I have a couple of resources for you to go home with. Firstly, there's the Patterns and Practices article on monitoring, and it has just recently been updated, which is a good thing. It also talks about this kind of general why should you do it, and what is the difference between a logging and monitoring platform. So it goes a little bit philosophical there as well. As I mentioned, the activity logs by default, they are retented for just 3 months. So you should get them out. The default approach would be to export them to an event hub, actually. So in the activity log UI, there was a button saying export to event hub or export activity log. You define the retention periods there. You don't need to anymore rely on your activity log being there. You can just set this up using Azure CLI or PowerShell as well. It's something that's called Azure Log Profile in there. And there's a link to that. A good example, if you want to kind of ponder about different Azure monitoring and integration pieces, essentially just an ARM template that creates a logic app that gets triggered every time when there's an Azure alert. So essentially, it's just an action group for those Azure alerts integrated with this example, Slack. Then when you're working in an enterprise, when you want to export that data to your security incident management system as well, there are different tools that can integrate directly with Azure native components. So if you are working with Office 365, those components might actually require you to create an Azure AD service principal or a system account or user in your Azure AD and pull that information from your Azure AD graph or Microsoft Security graph and get that information. With Azure's case, the scenarios might be a little bit broader. So it's prudent to export your information using, for example, Azure Activity Logs or using native components log export VMs from these different vendors. And this article covers those as well. And if you haven't yet, please try out the AZSK. You can just go to their GitHub or azsk.azurewebsites.net as well to find that out. All right, and this is not the only monitoring session of Ignite. So if you haven't attended any of these others, if you want to take a kind of grab home before your flights, download these. They should all be available already for on-demand viewing as well. So essentially, the ones that go a little bit deeper in this context for the respective areas will be the monitoring as well. I only barely mentioned Network Watcher, but there are other ways of watching and monitoring your Azure network environment as well. And then there's the talk about Azure Monitor and really this kind of one log, one metric, one alert approach that they have. And then we have the others more specific to your scenarios, the DevOps side, and then the ITSM side as well. Yes, perfect. So now that we have the mandatory slides covered, we can go back and figure a little bit more on the demo that we had previously, or fiddle with this a little bit more. And all right. Let's take a look at the virtual machine CPU. This is now the Azure Monitor metrics that I showed you previously. This is something that I had created before. I just showed you that I can create an alert based on this, but you'll see I can actually choose predefined different charts that I have here. I can even add, configure the time frame again, or I can add another metric on top of this same chart. So, but if I want to monitor both my CPU usage and, for example, let's see what it gives me. For example, data disk reads, OS disk reads, for example. Let's see how this goes. Almost exactly the same. I can pull this information into my Azure dashboard as I had, or I can get this kind of dump of this data, current data set also to different tools such as a CSV format. There's an export to Power BI and so forth. And if you haven't worked with this yet, so you can actually share your Azure dashboard across inside your Azure tenant or Azure AD account. You can share this to anybody who are under the same Azure AD for those same Azure subscriptions that are under the same Azure AD. And nowadays you can even download this whole thing as a JSON file. So think about this when building these monitoring solutions here as well. These links that I mentioned these links that I didn't mention, so please take a look at these as well. So the new Azure Monitor documentation, aka MS monitoring docs, then the AZMon overview link, which is essentially a getting started tutorial for all activity logs, application insight, and the log analytics. And then also Microsoft has paid for a bunch of free courses at Pluralsight, but this specific one is quite nice for this custom query language or the log analytics query language that you can use to pull build your dashboards and analytics on this data set that you're pulling in. There's a free Pluralsight course, and they actually have a free megalomanically big environment of log analytics data from thousands of different VMs that are pulling in different information. So it makes a little bit more beneficial because you can try during the course. You can try the same questions, you can try the same queries, and build this as you go forward. It's a free demo environment essentially from Microsoft hosted VMs as well. All right. With that, thanks for attending Ignite. Thanks for choosing this session as your last session of Ignite. And I'm going to be generous and end 4 minutes before our time, and everybody can, rush to the back checkout together. Thank you very much, and see you next year in November.